All right, guys, we're going to talk about orientations really quick. Listen, our job on an orientation is to reinforce what they already watched in the video with Andy. Okay. And so if they're not watching the orientation video, I wouldn't even run the orientation. I would say, hey, do me a favor, take this hour, go watch that video. When are you available later today? And then because you're kind of wasting your time, right? If it's been tight and you've been having issues getting them scheduled, like run it, at least get a touch point. So like don't let people keep rescheduling on you. You need to schedule that orientation within the first 24 to 48 hours of them coming into the business. Like that's a non-negotiable, right? Look, they just started an opportunity. That's their most like compliant time ever. Okay. So recruit somebody, get their social media up immediately, right? Serena does the best job of that out of any of us, period. Right. And she gets every single one of them to post. And so you can't tell me that she's got like some magic trick. So recruit, social media up immediately, and then orientation within the first 24 to 48 hours. Like that's period. And that's why a lot of our numbers are down, right? And Serena's numbers are up because she does it and she's consistent. Okay. And then once you get on the orientation, this packet is like a reference document for them for later. Okay. It is not a let's go step by step, page by page, take 2 hours. Okay. This is for later. The other thing I want you guys to do is, and I found this yesterday, right? That new agent, so excited text, right? The text is great, but if somebody doesn't use a Mac, they can't click a link from a text message. Now, I know you could copy the whole text message and email it to yourself, right? Make it easier for them. So however you're planning to communicate with them, like whatever's the most like normal, right? Whether it's messenger, whether they like email, something. Be like, hey, where do you want me to send all this info? I'll text it to you so you have it, but where else do you want me to send it so that you can click it the easiest? Do you want me to email it to you or do you want me to put it in messenger? What's the best? Just find out because then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I told you to put it here. Okay. So I would always plan to email it and text it. That way, there's no way they can miss it, right? And then make sure you're emphasizing before we get back together, hey, these are the things I need you to do. I need you to watch this video, right? Get logged into your licensing course. And if you're doing 30-minute recruit interviews and you don't have enough time because you're back to back to back kind of thing, make it 45. Don't rush it. I would rather you get a more complete thing and you have time to actually kind of tell them the next steps than trying to like rush through it. Okay. So on the orientation, and I asked Haley yesterday to sort of make like a little bit more of a checklist. I asked her to make it for herself, but then we're going to kind of share it with everybody. So we'll keep kind of refining this over time, right? I put this in because Emily asked to have it in one spot, so that's there. You can kind of go over this with them if you want, but really, like I go straight to talking about balance, right? Talking about the rowboat, rowing with both hands. Like you got a license oar and a field training oar. Licensing is on you, training's on us, right? And then the engagement piece, right, is staying plugged in. I only want 3 hours a week, right? There's Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. It's all 8 o'clock now. So it makes life pretty simple. Tell them what time it is in their time zone, right? We met with yesterday somebody from Louisiana. I said, hey, listen, for you, it's 7 o'clock. Do me a favor, go in your calendar right now and put recurring events at 7 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 7 to 8 for you, right? And just tell them. And that's like set the expectation. I expect you to be there. Whether they show up or not after that, right? But you got to set the expectation. You don't change. You consistently say the same thing every time, no matter what. I don't care who you're sitting with, right? I don't care if it's a 19-year-old kid or a 45-year-old like executive. You tell them this. You are the same every single time. You don't change for them. Okay. Then we're going to cover the guidelines. I want you to show them like the hard one first. Okay, so this is the promotion guidelines. You remember what Andy talking about this, right? Reinforce it because then that forces them mentally to pull back from their memory and go, oh yeah, I remember that. And so now it comes back front of mind, top of mind. Say, hey, so look, right now we're going to focus on a sprint to district, right? You're a rep right now, you're brand new, but I want you to focus on sprinting to district. Normally that would take what we call 6 by 6. That means 6 new recruits and 6,000 in premium to get you to a 50% contract. Sound good? And they're going to go, yeah, because they don't know any different, right? And you say, but listen, but right now, you're in a special time. You're in your fast start window. It's never going to be easier. Right now, we get rid of all the licensing requirements and we cut the production by half or more to get you to your next promotion. So now instead of 6 by 6, it's 3 by 3. So now you need half the work and you're going to make a bonus along the way, right? So your job really is get your license and set some appointments. I mean, let's be honest, you don't know what to say to clients right now. That's our job, right? So who do you think would give somebody a better presentation right now? You, brand new, you've been here for like 5 seconds, or me, I've been doing this for a long time. Obviously, I know it's a stupid question, right? So your job is really smile and nod and take some notes on those appointments. And if you could smile and nod and in about 6 hours, make a $600 bonus, that'd be pretty sick, wouldn't it? How long would it take you to make $600 at your current job? And wait for an answer, guys. Let them actually say it out loud. Let that sink in for them. And whatever they tell you, it doesn't matter if they say they can make it in 2 days. Like, great. Well, if you could do it in about 6 hours while I'm doing the work and you just smile and nod, that's a hell of a lot easier, right? It doesn't matter what they say. Okay. And so, and say, look, it's also unlimited. Like, you don't have to stop there. You can get all the way up here. It just, we'll see how it goes, right? But at a minimum, I want you to focus on sprinting to district. And as soon as we get your first 1 by 1, your bonus is locked in and that sets your refund up for your licensing costs. Sound good? You got to hammer that home, right? Without that, there is no refund. Okay. See if they've got any questions here, right? And then kind of just skip over this. It's just there for reference material. And so you're talking about setting some appointments, right? Explain what a hot and warm market is. This is where you can use the restaurant analogy, right? It's like, Angela, we just opened a restaurant, right? Me and you, boom. What's your favorite food? Tacos. Yeah, me too. Love it. I don't care what they say, right? It's your favorite food too. We just opened a restaurant and the food's great. It's the best food ever. But who knows about the restaurant besides me and you? Nobody, right? So if we were going to have some friends come down on Friday and eat, who are we going to start with? Or just anybody? Like, who are we going to start with? Friends and family, right? You're going to tell them to come down, have a meal, bring somebody, let somebody know, leave a 5-star Google review, something like that, right? Perfect. This is no different. We got to get in front of some people. We got to show them the menu so that they can see if they like it or not. And then that way they can tell some people. That's how you build a referral based business. So, do you think it'd be easier to start with people that know you, love you, trust you, or like start calling random strangers? Probably these people. This is your hot and warm market, right? So, we should probably start with the most important person in your life. It's probably your spouse. If they're a 19-year-old kid, guys, it's going to be their parents, okay? Or whatever the equivalent of a parent is for them, okay? Then wedding lists. Say, hey, so look, we're gonna make you a list today, right? We're gonna start putting some names down. We're gonna make you a list today. I'm gonna help you kind of figure out who we're gonna get in front of first. It's not gonna be a surprise, right? You already know the people. But start, and it's just gonna help you start thinking about who else we should get in front of, right? Coworkers, people you go to church with, people your kids play sports with, whatever. And along the way, right, the easiest apps for promotions, right? So to get you up for the premium and get your bonus going, your own stuff counts, right? Your own policy. I mean, where else could you get life insurance and get some training and get a bonus and get paid to do it? If it was something that you were going to do anyway, wouldn't it make sense to do it now while you can get a bonus and promotion out of it? Plant that seed. Like, great. We'll look at that here in a little bit once we get your list made, right? Make it make it known, but don't make it seem like that's the only reason you're there. Okay. And so look, you, your spouse, your partner, your baby daddy, right? Whatever you got going on, your kids' parents, your parents, right? Or your adult kids. This is what we call insurable interest. Right? Angela, did you know you could have a policy on your husband? You could put a policy on your parents. You could even put a policy on your grandparents if you wanted to. And if you have an adult kid, you can put a policy on them. On all of those policies, you could be the owner, the payer, and the beneficiary. They are just the insured. That's what we call insurable interest. Okay. Because if you're like a lot of my clients right now, right, the woman is way more in tune with what she needs for the family, and the man is just sort of like, yeah, just tell me what you need. Right. I mean, is that kind of your situation? Do you kind of like run the house? Good. Well, in that case, when it comes to setting the appointment with your husband, it should be pretty simple. Just tell him where to be and when to be there, and that he has to be there for your training. Sound good? Reinforce it for him, guys. Look, and so hey, we're gonna make you a list really quick. We're gonna start by just that wedding list. So imagine we're gonna go to the Bahamas, right? We can go to the Bahamas, we can go to the mountains, whatever you want to do, right? Where do you want to go, right? If you've got somebody that's like conversationalist, like let them interact. But the two that we did yesterday, I had to like shut them up and just talk over them to kind of keep them moving. Haley, did you see how I did that? Did I let her keep yapping over me? Hell no, because she's just gonna blab, right? No, I redirected the conversation, but I wasn't mean about it. I said, hey, girl, that's awesome. Listen, hey, as far as this is what we're doing right now, look, we're going to talk about this. This is macho. This is how we score clients, right? So if you look up here, that's how we give people points, right? For kind of how they are. So it's either a recruit or a kitchen table. Kitchen table is somebody that's married or has kids or both, right? Those are clients first. We call it a kitchen table because back in the day, if I was going to come to your house, we would probably sit at the kitchen table, right? And go over a presentation. Does that make sense? Awesome. So if they don't have a spouse and they don't have any kids at all, that's somebody that we would probably talk to about the business first. Okay. We call that leading with the opportunity, or, right, if they're a client, we lead with the product. And so anybody with kids or a spouse, that's what we're going to talk to as a client first. So let's think about going to the Bahamas, right? We're going to take the jet. Obviously, if you guys don't go to get remarried, nobody else is coming. So you guys are number one on the list. So that means we need to set the first appointment with you and your spouse. So you and your spouse, you guys have kids, right? So let me just qualify the list. I'll show you what it looks like. Look, you're married, you're 37, you got kids, you guys live in your own place, and you got jobs. You guys are 5 pointers. Okay. Somebody who's like a single parent, obviously they can't check the married box, right? So they're 4 pointers most likely. Right? So single parents, that's super easy, right? Easiest appointment you'll ever set, and also the easiest one to close. Sure. Okay. And so that's what it means when we qualify these. So let's get going on your list, right? Let's just start with names. Just start giving me names, and we'll go back through it and qualify it afterwards. And then we'll figure out, and I'll show you how to set an appointment. Okay. So start writing them down, right? Who do you want your maid of honor to be? Who's your best man? Who's his best man? Your parents, your mom, dad. Who's your siblings? Who's your best friend? Who's your right coworkers that you would think this would be great for? Who's like just keep asking them questions because a bunch of people are gonna say, "Oh, I don't know anybody." Right? What happened yesterday, Haley? After Amanda said, "I don't know like anybody. I know like one person." Like as we kept going down the list, she kept spitting out names. Right? Guys, people just get on the spot and then they kind of like forget, like they brain fart. So, but don't stop. Don't just sit there and stare at them. Well, come up with a name. Come up with a name. Just keep moving to the next thing, and then it'll start like trickling back in. Okay. So qualify that. Show them there's a basic script here, right? And then say, hey, listen, all we're doing, all I need you to do is call a couple of these people, right? And set an appointment. It's very simple. Right? I mean, hey, let's be honest. You don't need a reason to call your mom. Right? If you call your mom and try to set an appointment, even if you completely screw it up, and you just say, "Mom, I'm working on a new job. I'm trying to get some licensing. I need some help getting some training. I need you to sit on a Zoom call with me." Do you really think she's gonna get like start badgering you with questions? She's gonna say, "Okay, where do you need me to be? When do you need me to be there?" Right? And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna book the appointment. Okay. So I'm gonna show you how to book the appointment right now. I'm actually gonna book your first one for you to kind of show you how to do it. So this is my calendar. All of our trainers' calendars look the same. Okay. So when it comes to booking an appointment, Haley, if you're gonna book an appointment for a client, which one of these do you think you would pick? Like the quick call for 10 minutes or the financial consultation? Probably the financial consultation, right? That's the one we're going to use. So we're going to book that. look, if it's in blue, you can book it, right? So like right now it's Christmas, we're not going to do appointments today. It's like tomorrow or Friday or Saturday next week, right? Ideally, let's use Friday or Saturday as the example. So Haley, like if we're gonna sit down on Friday or Saturday, which one do you think is better for you and Philip? Friday or Saturday? Oh, I don't know. Let me talk to him. Perfect. Listen, I totally want you to talk to him, but let's be honest, you probably know Philip's schedule better than Philip does. You know when he's going to be home, right? So if he's going to be home Friday or Saturday at all, which one's going to be better? Saturday? Perfect. So like morning or afternoon? Let's do early afternoon. Sounds good, right? So like, look, you want to do 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? Perfect. Let's book it for 1 o'clock. We'll pencil this in. If something changes, let me know. But for right now, we're planning to be there at 1 o'clock with you and Philip, right? And so put his name in here as the actual client. Make sure you add your email as a guest, right? And then just answer the questions. Don't ask them all these questions. You know the answers to most of these, right? So just ask them or just fill this out for them. You're going to be setting these appointments on the calendar. Please don't send the calendar to the client. Just do it for them. Do it on the phone with them, right? And then just fill this in, put in the cell phone number, and check in as much of these as you can, right? If they're 5 pointers and you know it, do it. Great. If you know their ages, fill it in, right? Just get me close, right? I don't care. Just get me close. It's just for me to have a little bit of an idea ahead of time. And this one's super important. Like, what state do they live in? Because if they're in like in Hawaii or something, we're not going to do that. It's just so that the agent that is going to run the appointment knows if they're able to do it or not. Okay, and then hit save. Adding yourself as a guest is super important. That way, you get the alerts, you get the reminders, you see the same thing the client is seeing. Okay, and then that way you can help confirm those appointments with them as well. Okay, make sure they understand that it's super important. It's for your training. All right, so look, we just booked your first one for you. So now if you go set four more, right? So it's pretty easy, right? Look, if you go set four more appointments, I'll Venmo you, Cash App you 25 bucks, whatever you want, right? It's just an incentive for you to set some appointments. Is that fair? Awesome. You think you can set four more appointments by tomorrow night at like 10 o'clock? Good. I think you can too. How do you want me to pay you? Cash App? Perfect. Text me your Cash App handle. And then tomorrow, if you set those four more appointments, they got to be client appointments, right? Set four more client appointments. We'll get that taken care of, and I'll shoot that over to you. Okay. Now, listen, don't be setting it for like 3 months from now. It's got to be like within the next week. Okay. Awesome. Cool. I didn't think you would do that anyway. And so that's sort of like okay, boom. That's like the big one, right? And now I want you to go in and kind of quote them and show them. Now, if they're single and they're in market, like they're a single parent, makes sense, right? You can close on an orientation. Don't be afraid. If they're married, this is where I want you to show it to them and then set up the close for the actual appointment with their spouse. Make sense? But guys, if they're a single parent and they're in market, you don't have to wait. There's no reason to wait, right? And we're going to do the shoebox really quick, just as a reminder. So, Haley, listen, I'm going to bring up a quote really quick for us so we can kind of walk through a couple things. Have you ever looked at private life insurance before? Have you ever sat with like any sort of like financial person ever like prior to this? No. Okay. So you probably have no really clue what life insurance costs or anything like that, right? Well, if I can ever get this thing to load, hang on, let me try something else. So, like off the top of your head, though, like if you had to guess, like how much do you think it would cost for you and your daughter to be covered with life insurance? Like, let's say for like a 500,000. What would you think? And just let them answer. Like, I don't really care what they say. I want them. I hope they come back with something crazy high, right? I want them to come back with something crazy high because if they do, then when I show them something that's relatively cheap, perfect. For whatever reason, like the private window is what I've been having to use because it like doesn't store any cookies or anything. And so then it like lets me back in. I just have to do the whole like text message code thing. I don't know why it's been doing this. I can't. It's killing me. But anyway, so while they're thinking about it, right? And then while they're thinking about it, this is your opportunity to bring the shoebox back. So I mean, Haley, do you remember like when you were a kid, you know, shoebox, you like kept your piggy bank or whatever, right? Somewhere you kept your cash. I want you to think about the same sort of thing. Like right now, like are you getting paid like every week, every 2 weeks, bi-weekly? Okay. So like if you were going to take some money out of that check every 2 weeks and we're going to put it in a shoebox, right? We're going to put money in there for your life insurance. We're going to start investing some, maybe start saving some more money without, you know, jacking up your budget. Like how much do you think you could put in that shoebox every 2 weeks? While you're thinking about that, I got clients that are like 50, 100, couple hundred. I have some that are thousands, right? That's probably too much. But like for you, like what would make sense? 50 bucks a check? Okay. Yeah. So that's $100 a month, right? So that's $100 a month. Haley, you're 30. And so look, if we were going to give you a life insurance policy for a half a million on you, right? Half a million on you, baby's covered, your whopping grand total is 83 bucks. Hey, that's inside your shoebox money, girl, right? And we know that the most important thing, like financially right now, is making sure that life insurance is taken care of. That was on your survey that you did when you watched the financial house video, right? Yeah. So if that's one of the things that you wanted to do, we can get that taken care of for you. And look, 83.77, pretty sure that's going to be enough for your first bonus and promotion. Watch this. So 83, that's monthly, right? We call it AP, so annual premium. Haley, how many months are in a year? Duh, right? 12. Stupidest question ever, I know. Right. So annual premium, look at that. Is that over 1,000? How do you get a $200 bonus? You get one recruit and 1,000 AP, right? Well, there you go. There's 1,005. So look, girl, you just locked in your first bonus and promotion, and all you did was take care of your own stuff. How crazy is that? Perfect. Look, let me show you what the application process looks like. I'm going to draw you what we call an A diagram, right? A is just for A for application. Haley, have you ever applied for anything before? Like a job or a school or something? Awesome. Yeah, me too. Like, where'd you go to school? Right? Awesome. Harvard. I knew you were smart. But so like that first payment is going to go into what we call an escrow account. Right? Are you familiar with escrow? Like house payment, right? Kind of just goes into holding. I don't care what they say, guys. If they say yes, great. If they say no, perfect. Say hey, you understand like the cloud, right? The cloud. So like this first payment is kind of go into the cloud. It's just going to be held, meaning it's in house, right? So Primerica has it, and your application is actually good for like 30 to 90 days. Okay. So 30 to 90 days. And so what does that mean? Where it's almost the end of December, January, February, and we'll sneak a little March in here. Here we go. Boom. Right. So we submit your application right here. Your coverage starts automatically. It's that first payment, your coverage starts automatically. Right. We're gonna get your medical exam scheduled like after Christmas. Scroll down where you ain't gonna try to do this right now. Right. So your medical exam sometime after Christmas, your policy is probably gonna issue sometime out here like at the end of the month. You're not gonna make another payment in January. Your policy is gonna issue when that policy issues, Haley. That 84 is gonna go pay that policy into the next billing cycle. So now you're paid through February. Your next payment, girl, isn't gonna be until March. Plenty of time to get you licensed and start making some extra money on top of it. And you're getting a bonus. Okay. So, Haley, just like that job, right? They could tell you no, or they could tell you yes. Haley, if we, God forbid, right? If we told you no for some reason, right? Primerica is going to send you a letter. They're going to send you a sorry and a check for a full refund. We're not keeping any of the money. So, Haley, you can see how there's no risk in just applying. Am I right? Right. Perfect. And then if you get applied or if you get approved, which is most likely going to happen, right? This whole process goes like this, but you could get approved and it could come back better, right? And for you, I would say let's let it come back cheaper. So, Haley, if it came back cheaper, would you ever be mad at me? No, crazy, right? But if it comes back cheaper, you're going to get a different letter, but you're going to get a refund this time for the difference. Like let's say it gets cheaper by 15 bucks, right? You're going to get a check in the mail for 15 bucks. And then when your billing starts out here, it's going to be cheaper forever. Crazy, right? Awesome. So look, I know this kind of looks like a bad football play. Any questions? Does this make sense? Okay, good. One more thing I want to talk about really fast with our policy is the terminal illness benefit. So I know we haven't talked about that yet, but think about like this, Haley. If you found out like next month that you've got 6 months to live, like really bad news, like stage 99 cancer, right? Right now, do you have an extra 370 or $350,000 that you can tap into in cash to go get like medical treatment, pay bills, do whatever you need to do? No, I don't, right? Well, I mean, I do because I'm covered, but like I don't have just that cash sitting around. But now you do because you have terminal illness benefit built into the policy. This is like a living benefit. Haley, you can just advance yourself 350 grand. Think about that, right? And that's just as being a client, right? But if you got some bad news next month and you don't have this, probably not good. So you're starting to restack the value. And then remember, like God forbid we lose you, right? The baby's covered right now. She has paid up life insurance until she's 25, and she's guaranteed insurability when she turns 25. Okay. So listen, who who do you want your beneficiary to be? Philip? Awesome. Listen, what we're gonna do, right? We're just gonna apply and see how it comes back. Sound good? We'll fill this out, we'll get this whole thing going. That's if they're single, right? If they're married, book that appointment, right? And go. I went straight into the whiteboard with the A diagram because I wanted you guys to see it again. If they're single, that you should be closing, right? If they're married, you should be showing them the quote and then let them tell you how cheap it is. I want them to come back and say that's it because that's what usually happens, right? And you gotta set it up though, right? If money were no object, how much coverage would you want? Most people are gonna say, I don't know, what's normal? Like, don't worry about normal, right? But if it was free, you would want all of it, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, heck, couple million, sure, billion, why not? Right. But we got to be realistic. We know money is an object. So we come back down to reality. And that's where we go to the shoebox. But you got to get them thinking big first, right? Get them thinking like, because most people think really, really small. Even yesterday, she's like, oh man, I was just thinking like 100 grand, right? 100 grand don't do nothing, nothing, right? And so that's what that's the process, guys. And then book those appointments. So like your number one priority on an orientation, making sure that they can get into their licensing stuff, right? Understand some social media, get through the get through the list, set that appointment, incentivize them for the next one, show them what it looks like. And then if you have time, right, get them to call Answer Financial. Show them what it looks like. Like yesterday, our girl was in Louisiana and her market was in between Louisiana and Arkansas. I said, girl, that's amazing. You need to call everybody right now, but you need to call for yourself first. It's sort of like the oxygen mask thing, right? Take care of your own first. You can use that line with the life insurance too, guys. Right? And I know it's not going to be like exactly word for word the same every single time. It can't be, but you got to be close, right? You got to put the big rocks in first. What do I mean? Right? You got to make sure that they understand appointment setting. You got to make the list. Got to set the first appointment for them. You got to show them how to do it. Otherwise, they're never going to do it. Right? Some people are still never going to do it, even once you show them how to do it. That's not on you at that point. You do your job. You consistently are the same, no matter what. Okay. That's what that looks like. I'm going to stop the recording so we have this, but any questions?